They didn't see the nights you cried yourself to sleep. They didn't witness the silent battles you fought just to keep your mind together. And they certainly didn't understand why your world felt like it was collapsing, when in reality, something divine was being built behind the scenes. Chosen one, this message is not a coincidence. You were led here for a reason. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're under spiritual attack because something massive is coming. The enemy always strikes hardest when your breakthrough is the closest. So if you've been feeling like everything is falling apart, if the people around you have switched up, turned their backs, or disappeared, if your spirit has felt heavy for no reason, you're not alone. This is not just a bad season. This is warfare. But not because you're being punished, because you're being prepared. You are marked. You are called. And the weight of your attack is proof of the size of your assignment. In this video, we're going deep. We're going to unpack the real reason the attacks have intensified. We're going to expose the enemy's playbook. And more importantly, we're going to reveal what's coming next. By the end of this video, your spirit will be stronger. Your vision will be clearer, and your heart will be ready. So stay with me. Take a deep breath. And let's walk through this together. Because what's coming for you is greater than what's been trying to break you. You might have been wondering lately, why is it that every time you get close to peace, chaos shows up uninvited? Why do things seem to fall apart the moment you start rebuilding? That's not a coincidence. That's spiritual warfare, and not just any kind. It's targeted, strategic, and relentless, because you're a threat to darkness. See, the enemy doesn't waste resources attacking people who don't carry purpose. There are folks walking through life without calling, and they're rarely bothered. But you wake up with a mission in your soul, even when you don't fully understand it yet. There's something about you that shifts the room. Your presence exposes the fake. Your silence speaks louder than their noise. And deep down, they feel it, even if they can't explain it. That's why you've been under fire. It wasn't random when that relationship ended the way it did. It wasn't just life when the betrayal hit from someone you trusted the most. That financial struggle, that emotional roller coaster, that strange heaviness sitting on your chest for no reason. All of that has spiritual fingerprints all over it. The enemy saw what you couldn't yet see, what God was about to release in your life. Let's be real. The calling on your life isn't light. It's not ordinary. It requires a version of you that's been tested, refined, and sharpened. And that refinement, it often comes through fire. Not to burn you down, but to burn away everything that can't come with you. And right now, the intensity you're feeling, it's a sign. The pressure is increasing because the elevation is near. The attacks are intensifying because your promotion is in motion. The pain isn't pointless. It's part of the preparation. Chosen one, what if I told you that the enemy knows who you are even more than you do? What if I told you that the spiritual realm has already recognized your authority? And that's exactly why things are shaking around you. Because when the light gets brighter, the shadows get louder. And that's what's happening now. This is why you feel isolated, why people start falling off, why things that once brought you comfort now feel foreign. It's not rejection, it's redirection. God is separating you for something sacred. There's a misconception that when you're walking in divine alignment, life becomes easier. But the truth, it gets more intentional. The attacks don't disappear, they just become more calculated. And it's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because you're doing something right. But here's the thing. What the enemy meant to break you, God is going to use to build you. That heartbreak, it's building resilience. That silence, it's building clarity. That betrayal, it's building discernment. You're not breaking down. You're being built up. Quietly, painfully, beautifully. And the enemy hates that you haven't given up yet. That even after everything, you're still standing. You might be bruised, but you're still breathing. And that, in itself, is dangerous to the enemy's agenda. Now let's talk about the patterns. Think about how every time you try to level up, something tries to pull you down. You get closer to your goals, and suddenly, distractions appear. Toxic people resurface. Unexpected delays creep in. That's not by chance. That's by design. The enemy wants to keep you stuck, doubting, distracted, drained. Because if you ever fully tapped into the power within you, if you ever fully accepted the truth about who you are in God, there wouldn't be a force on earth that could contain your purpose. And that's exactly what this test is about. God is allowing this season not to punish you, but to position you, to strengthen your spirit, to increase your sensitivity. Because what's coming requires a new level of faith, a new level of obedience, a new level of spiritual awareness. You can't step into what's next carrying what almost destroyed you in the last season. So these attacks, they're revealing who's really for you. They're exposing weak foundations. They're waking you up. You're not going through this just to survive it. You're going through it to grow from it. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out. And sometimes, standing out means walking alone for a while. It means feeling misunderstood. It means not fitting into rooms that you used to beg to be part of. But that's okay, because God is building something in you that can't be built in comfort. You're being stretched, pressed, pruned, but not forgotten. God is preparing you for a table that hasn't even been set yet. He's preparing your spirit for rooms your feet haven't entered yet. That's why the warfare feels so personal, because the blessing will be too. So if you've been wondering why the attacks are so intense, the answer is simple. What's coming is bigger than anything you've experienced. And the enemy knows it. But here's the best part. He can't stop it. No matter how much resistance you face, no matter how many roadblocks appear, the promise still stands. Because what God ordains, no force in hell can cancel. You see, the enemy isn't just targeting your external world. He's also after your internal peace. And when you're under spiritual attack, it can often feel like your mind is under siege. You might experience confusion, doubt, and frustration like never before. 1 minute, you're full of faith. And the next, you're wondering if any of this is even real. That's not your fault. That's the enemy's strategy, trying to sow seeds of doubt in your heart, planting thoughts that make you question your worth, your calling, your purpose. And it's sneaky. It often comes in the form of what ifs. What if I'm not good enough? What if this is all just a fantasy? What if I'm too broken to do what God has called me to do? Those what ifs are not from God. They are distractions meant to cloud your vision. And they can be so convincing because they strike at your deepest insecurities. But here's what you need to understand. Doubt is the enemy's weapon of choice, and it's only effective when you entertain it. You see, this spiritual warfare is not just a physical battle. It's a battle for your mind. And that's why you've got to guard your thoughts more fiercely than ever before. You must refuse to let the enemy plant lies in your heart. Refuse to give him space to make you doubt God's plan for your life. When those negative thoughts begin to rise up, don't just sit there and accept them as truth. Cast them down. Declare God's word over your life. Remind yourself that you are called, chosen, equipped, and destined for greatness. You don't need to have everything figured out yet. You just need to trust that the steps are already laid before you. That's what the enemy fears most. Your unshakable faith in God's plan, no matter what it looks like in the natural. Now let's talk about the isolation you might be feeling. You've probably noticed that as you've started to grow in your faith and purpose, people who once filled your life with noise are now silent. Relationships are shifting. Friends you thought you could count on are pulling away. And it hurts. I won't lie, it hurts deeply. But this season of solitude isn't punishment, it's purpose. God is using this isolation to teach you something vital: dependence on Him. You might be feeling like you're walking this journey alone, but the truth is that God is closer to you than ever before. He's drawing you nearer. He's teaching you to hear His voice more clearly, to rely on His wisdom, His direction, and His provision. You see, there are some things that only God can show you in solitude. There are some lessons that only silence can teach. In this season, God is preparing you for something bigger, something that requires a deeper relationship with Him. He's removing the distractions, people, places, things that would keep you from fully embracing what He has for you. But here's the hard truth. There are also people who simply can't go with you where God is taking you. And that's not a reflection of your worth or your love for them. It's just that your destiny is different from theirs. And while they may have been part of your journey so far, their chapter in your life is coming to an end. This doesn't mean you're better than them. It means God is calling you to higher places, and not everyone can handle the version of you that's emerging. That's the reality of spiritual warfare. The more you step into God's purpose, the more you separate yourself from the old, from the familiar, from the comfortable. And it's not easy. It's painful, but it's necessary. Now, you may be wondering why the enemy is so relentless. Why does he keep coming at you with all these attacks, trying to knock you off course? The answer is simple. He's scared. He knows that when you fully step into your purpose, the world will change. When you walk in the fullness of God's plan for your life, you become a force of nature that the enemy can't control. You become a vessel of God's power, love, and light. That's why he's trying so hard to wear you down, to make you doubt, to make you feel like giving up. He knows what you carry. He knows what's inside you, and he's terrified of it. But let me remind you of something. He can't stop you. No matter how hard he tries, no matter how many attacks come your way, the plan God has for your life will always prevail. Your destiny is too powerful, too ordained, too divine for the enemy to derail it. The only way you lose is if you stop fighting. The only way you lose is if you let the attacks break you, but you're not going to let that happen. Because God's purpose in your life is greater than any weapon formed against you. So, what do you need to do in this moment of spiritual warfare? You need to keep moving forward. Even when it feels hard, even when the attacks seem relentless, you have to remember that your victory is already secured. The enemy knows it. God knows it, and you need to know it too. Stay in faith, stay strong, stay focused. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it does, you will look back on this season of spiritual attack and see it for what it truly was, the process that prepared you for the greatness that's ahead. The pain you're feeling right now, it's temporary. The breakthrough, it's permanent. And what's coming next will be worth every ounce of energy, every tear, and every moment of doubt you fought through. Stay in the fight. You've got this. God's got you. It's not just about enduring the attack. It's about knowing why it's happening in the first place. Why is the enemy so determined to bring you down? Why does he come at you with all these distractions, doubts, and trials? The reason is simple. He wants to delay your destiny. The enemy is aware that you carry something powerful. There is a divine purpose on your life that no one can take away, except you. You have been chosen to do something significant, something that will change lives, uplift spirits, and impact the kingdom of God in a profound way. This is why he wants you distracted, confused, and broken. He wants you to believe that you're not worthy of your calling, that your purpose is too big for someone like you. But here's the truth. He cannot stop what God has already ordained. His attacks are only confirmation that something powerful is coming. When the attacks increase, it's a sign that you are on the verge of something huge, something monumental that will shift the course of your life and those around you. And let's be clear about one thing. These attacks are not random. They are a calculated effort to wear you down, to get you to the point where you question everything you believe. If the enemy can cause you to doubt, then he can create a roadblock on your path. But don't be deceived. The intensity of the attack is directly tied to the magnitude of what's ahead. When the enemy senses that you're about to break through into a new level of purpose, he'll intensify his efforts. He'll try to use your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurities, and even your past mistakes against you. But all of this is a smokescreen. It's meant to keep you from seeing what God is doing behind the scenes. You're in a spiritual battle, but God has already equipped you with everything you need to overcome. You may be asking, why now? Why are these attacks coming at me right now, when everything seemed to be going well? The answer is that God is preparing you for something greater. Sometimes, the storm is a sign that a breakthrough is near. The higher the calling, the more intense the attack. It's not a coincidence that you're going through this now. It's a divine setup. God is sharpening you, building your strength, and preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. As you walk through this difficult season, remember that the enemy's power over you is limited. His influence has an expiration date. The trial you are facing is temporary, but the victory that awaits you is eternal. God has already seen the end from the beginning, and He knows that you're more than capable of overcoming the storm. Don't let the enemy convince you that this season is a setback. It's a setup for your comeback. What's coming is bigger than anything you've ever dreamed of. The victory that's on the other side of this battle is going to be so much greater than the struggle you're enduring right now. God is refining you. He's testing your faith, your perseverance, and your commitment to His plan. And while the journey may be painful, it's necessary. It's shaping you into the person you need to be to handle the blessing that's coming your way. You are being prepared for something far greater than you can imagine, and the enemy is terrified of what that is. When you come out on the other side of this battle, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more equipped to walk in your purpose. You'll have a testimony that will inspire others and encourage them to keep going, no matter how difficult the journey may be. So stand firm in your faith. Trust that God is with you in every moment, even when it doesn't feel like it. He's refining you in the fire because He knows you're strong enough to withstand it. And when you emerge victorious, you will have a story to tell. A story of how God took you through the fire and brought you out stronger than ever before. And let's not forget, this is just the beginning. What's coming next is beyond anything you've ever imagined. The battles you're facing now will seem small compared to the incredible victory that's about to unfold. Keep your eyes on the prize and trust that God is using every single moment of this struggle to shape you into the person He's called you to be. He's not caught off guard by the enemy's schemes. In fact, He's already given you everything you need to overcome. The armor of God is not just a spiritual metaphor. It's a real divine protection that is available to you right now. And the reason God allows these attacks is because He knows you are capable of handling them. You are not alone in this fight. The Holy Spirit is with you, equipping you to stand strong, to resist the enemy's lies, and to stay focused on your divine calling. The spiritual battle is real, but the victory is guaranteed. You must trust in the process, even when it feels overwhelming. Sometimes it's difficult to understand why you're being attacked so intensely. But what if the attacks are actually an indication that God is preparing you for something incredibly powerful? What if the warfare you're experiencing right now is proof that you are on the brink of a breakthrough? Your faith is being tested. God is refining you, shaping you into a vessel that can carry the blessings He has in store for you. You may not see it yet, but He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life for His glory. The enemy's goal is to get you to doubt, to question your worth, and to make you feel like giving up. But you were chosen for this moment. You were chosen to walk in victory, to rise above the attacks, and to step into your destiny. You see, the devil knows that if he can distract you with fear, doubt, and confusion, he can prevent you from fully stepping into your purpose. He wants you to focus on the struggle, not the victory that's waiting for you. But God has a greater plan. Every spiritual attack you face is pushing you closer to the very thing the enemy doesn't want you to have: your destiny. As the pressure builds, remember that it's not about what's happening in the moment. It's about what God is preparing you for. He's teaching you to trust Him more deeply, to rely on His strength, and to believe that He is with you every step of the way. This season may be challenging, but it's also a season of preparation. God is preparing you for something bigger than you've ever imagined. And when you come through this, and you will, you'll look back and realize that the very things that tried to break you were the things that actually made you stronger. The attacks, the struggles, the disappointments, they were all part of God's plan to elevate you, to refine you, and to bring you closer to the victory He has promised. As you continue walking through this journey, don't be afraid of the battles. Don't be afraid of the spiritual warfare. It's all part of the process. You are being prepared for something huge, and nothing in this world can stop what God has ordained for your life. Keep your faith strong. Keep your eyes on your divine purpose, and remember that every battle is just a stepping stone toward your breakthrough. What's coming is greater than anything you could ever imagine, and it will all make sense once you step into the fullness of your calling. God has already won the victory, and you will walk in that victory too. So stand firm, keep pressing forward, and know that everything you're facing right now is leading you to something greater. The best is yet to come, and no attack, no weapon formed against you will prosper. Keep believing, keep trusting, and keep fighting. Your victory is near.